Kim, the boot, and no return from Quinton Redding. And Minnesota will start. Saw the 6 interceptions, 5 of which have come here at home. Sean Tyler is the tailback. On first down, Kelly-Manis being pressured, got away, throws, and that's dropped. Right on cue at the 25-yard line, Nick Callerup, redshirt senior from nearby Wayzata, had a chance at second down. As Tyler Cooper cannot play today, he is out. There's Tyler, and that ball came out at the 26-yard line, and the Spartans responding like they have it.
The ruling on the field is a fumble, recovered by the defense. First down.
Caden Hauser looking, throws, incomplete. Throw back at Nate Carter, his first carry, slips away and dives for close to 5.
Who's been playing at guard, he is out as well.
So Ethan Boyd starts at right tackle, sling it out, and that's caught by Carter, and he's upended at the line of scrimmage. Cody Lindenberg, welcome back, and he makes a key play, and it's 4th down. So 7 of 9 this season is Kim. And that is on the way, and that is good. Officially a 38-yard made field goal. So off the turnover, Michigan State. A 3-0 lead on the Kim field goal, and again, no return.
And of course, when you turn the ball over, as we saw last drive, that doesn't help your case.
Jordan Nubin checks in at tailback, and Nubin his first carry. That pile builds out to the 30, so 5 yards for Nubin, the redshirt sophomore from St. Charles, Illinois. Chris Bogle a bit banged up, so Brandon Wright starts at defensive end once again for Michigan State. Kelly-Manis sings it, and that's caught. Nice throw, first down across the 40-yard line. Gain of 13, now Sean Tyler back in. Chris Altman-Bell goes in motion, Kelly-Manis throws it back, and this is caught by Tyler with room. Across midfield, first down inside the Michigan State 45-yard line.
That's not who P.J. Fleck wants to be as we get the call here.
The receiver's knee was down with possession of the ball at the 35-yard line, where it'll be second down.
But for a number of different reasons, they've faced some challenges throughout this year.
Kelly-Manis on a slant. That's caught across the 45-yard line by Corey Crooms Jr. with his 20th reception of the season, so Minnesota gains 12 back on that passing catch. Pressure coming, Kelly-Manis, the ball's out, it's on the ground, and it's recovered by Michigan State. Avery Dunn recovered, and once again, Minnesota gives it back to Michigan State's second lost football for the Golden Gophers today. Resume play, incomplete pass. Caden Hauser looking for Montori Foster Jr. Hauser throws low, that's caught by Trey Mosley. Across the 25, it'll be 3rd down and short. Hauser rolls, throws, and that's dropped by Mosley. Thrown a bit behind, but certainly catchable for number 17. It's 4th and short. As long as 58, that was at Iowa a few weeks ago. He's got a strong leg, and that one is good. So, 9:49 to go in this first quarter, and a fair catch for Quinton Redding. Well, Sean Tyler, normally the return man, with how thin Minnesota is in the backfield right now. It's Nubin. He is met by Aaron Brule immediately. Then Jordan Hall, fellow linebacker, trying to punch that ball out after Nubin picked up 3. Here's Nubin trying the right side, and not much there. A gain of 2 as he was stacked up. Play clock late, under 5 for Kelly-Manis. Nubin, right side, flag thrown for now. It is a first down to the 36. As we wait on the penalty marker, though.
Holding offense number 65. 10-yard penalty. Third down.
On 3rd and 15, Brevin Span Ford, the tight end, brought down a couple of yards shy of the line to gain. Needed the 35, got as far as about the 33.
Getting that first catch can be huge for a guy that's really struggled to finish.
Gophers punter is Australian-born Mark Crawford. He's 29 years old. He's 6th oldest player in the sport. Fair catch.
He is back after missing the earlier part of the season.
Already made a key tackle today as Nate Carter spins his way just about one. Transfer from UConn. Nate Carter's first year with Michigan State. Already 3 100-yard rushing games this season. Hauser, that's tipped at the line of scrimmage and incomplete. Surprisingly poor from Minnesota on 3rd down, and that is incomplete. Jerron Glover was open.
Yep.
And it's 4th down, and Michigan State will punt. Ryan Eckley punted it 7 times against Michigan last week. Reddick pushed back, good punt. His own 21. And Reddick takes a hit around the 33 and is out of bounds after a 54-yard punt. So no Taylor, no Evans, so Jordan Nubin seeing more time in the backfield today. He'll bounce it outside, good run. Out across the 40-yard line. Here's Nubin, that opened up and a first down. Good effort there from Nubin out to around the 48-yard line. Let me get your take on Simeon Barrow Jr., Jake, and what took place this week. The impact, if that was your teammate, the impact that would have inside the locker room would be what?
Well, it's changed. You know, if that was my teammate, it was a different time back then. You know, NIL has changed everything, right? When I was playing, you didn't have the potential to go make hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I think at some level, guys, they probably understand it. Simeon probably had a chance to go make six figures plus. But as soon as I say that, the flip side is also true. The amount of respect his teammates have, for him to come back and choose to stay to fight with them can be a spark, like Brooke mentioned.
He said he heard from about 40 different schools and coaching staffs. He was in the portal for about 2 days, and that's how quickly other teams were trying to pounce and maybe bring in a talent like Simeon Barrow Jr. It's 3rd down. Pocket for Callie McManus. That's tipped and incomplete. Intended for Daniel Jackson. Dylan Tatum on the coverage. And it's 4th down and 4. It's a very young secondary for Michigan State. Statistically has not performed well in terms of defending the pass, but a good punt here. Carter up the middle, nothing there. There's Alante Brown, the transfer from Nebraska. He works his way out to the 11-yard line. Malik Carr, he's out today. Michigan State does not have its good tight end on 3rd and 5. Hanging in there and delivering to Harold Joyner Jr. And that'll be good enough for a 1st down to around the 18-yard line. Michigan State 1st down so far today. Hauser fakes it to Carter off his back foot, throws this one downfield, dangerously tipped and incomplete, and a flag. Justin Wally was in coverage.
I think this might be an offensive pass interference on Antonio Gates, because Wally looked like he was ready to intercept.
Defense number 5. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Corrected. Here it is. Let's just take a look at it. We're fighting downfield.
Now the cornerback or safety just has to stop as the receiver does, and that's being flagged quite a bit. There's Nate Carter. On 2nd and 7. Underneath, and that's caught by Foster. Michigan State going fast on 3rd and 4. Hauser swings it out, Carter. Brought down well shy of the line to gain, no gain of the play, and it's 4th down. Another punt for Ryan Eckley. Boots it away from his own 29. Back-to-back strong punts from Eckley. 2-1, and they do snap it just in time before the quarter ended, and it's a run for Nubin. So they milked the clock a bit, picked up 5. It'll be 3rd down and short when we start. Of course, they moved to the Metrodome for many years before Huntington Bank Stadium opened up. So who was the last outdoor stadium at Old Memorial Stadium for Minnesota? The answer coming up in just a bit on 3rd and 1. It's been more Jordan Nubin in the backfield than Sean Tyler. Here's Nubin again, spinning his way across the 20 for a gain of about 2. What do you read into that it's been more Nubin as opposed to Tyler early on?
Well, it probably goes back to that first play, right? The fumble, and as you mentioned too, this has been an issue going all the way back to the beginning of the season. You know, for PJ Fleck, he just doesn't have options with the injuries in the running back room.
That's Avery Dunn. Covered a fumble last quarter. He's down right now for Michigan State. And Dunn's absence on 2nd down and 8. Here's Nubin. To the 27. It'll be 3rd down and short after a gain of about 6. Nice pickup by Nubin. Caligmanis throws. Better catch made by Jackson. He's dragged down at the 40-yard line at a 1st down. But Nubin, he picked up the pressure, and then that allowed Caligmanis some more time to find Jackson.
So usually this play is actually supposed to go where Jordan Nubin's supposed to leak into the flat. You're supposed to avoid the collision, but maybe because he grew up with his brother Tyler, he likes the collision. Either way, good job by Caligmanis working back and finding Daniel Jackson down the field. It's a really nice throw.
So the numbers on Jackson last week against Iowa. Taking a shot downfield into coverage and pulling it down. That's a catch. Once again, it's Jackson.
And that one was less about scheme, less about technique, and more just about throw it up to your best receiver and see if he can come down with it. He's coming off his best game against the Iowa Hawkeyes last week. We had 7 catches for 101 yards, and he's picking up where he left off.
Passing game continues after a gain of 31. That's incomplete, thrown behind Crooms. 2 touchdown catches last year, Minnesota's win, and East Lansing 34-7. Nubin again up the middle for about 2. Minnesota has struggled on 3rd down this season. 2 of 5 today. This is a 3rd and 8. 10th play of the drive. Throwing in, incomplete, a flag. Intended for Brevin Spanford. But Dylan Tatum, did he get there too early?
Pass interference, defense number 21.
He did.
The ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. Automatic 1st down.
This is just working on a little out route towards the top. And as a big tight end, you should still be able to affect the game by boxing out the defender. I don't agree with that call, to be honest with you. I don't. I think that's 2 guys competing. To me, I just see 2 guys competing. So I don't necessarily think that was too egregious, Corey.
So the tight end does not side with the tight end there. So I've heard and seen it all now.
That's a first, huh?
Yeah.
I'm a man of truth.
1st down. Sean Tyler now back inside the Michigan State 20. There's the flip to Chris Altman-Bell. Welcomes the contact, but then is dropped by Jalen Thompson. Loss of 1 on the play. Play clock late. Tyler tries to cut it back and then runs into a ton of white, some green mixed in there. A gain of 1, 3rd down, and long upcoming for Minnesota, down 6. Caligmanis throws this one towards the end zone, and it's incomplete, looking for Jackson. Coverage from Angelo Gross, and it's 4th down.
Before PJ called that timeout, it looked like the defensive coordinator for Michigan State, Scotty Hazelton, it looked like he was bringing 0 pressure. So PJ calls the timeout. We come out of the break, and they're lined up in the exact same look, except that time they dropped out of it. It might have caught Callie McManus off guard. He's expecting to have one-on-one coverage with Daniel Jackson, but there's two guys on him, and really that's okay. Throw the ball away. The last thing you want is to have another turnover down here.
Big Ten Special Team Player of the Week, Dragan Kesic, and that was tipped. No good. Simeon Barrow Jr. and the Michigan State defense makes another play, denying Minnesota 3 points. A couple of turnovers and now a blocked field goal try. Despite 32 yards of offense, Michigan State has the ball back, leading by 6. Alante Brown. Carter, he's hit at the point of contact and dropped. On 3rd and 7, and that's incomplete. Foster running downfield.
Whereas Foster was running down the sideline. Miscommunication. It's on someone.
Ryan Eckley's had a heck of a game so far. Shorter punt this time and fielded by Redding. Out of bounds near the 40-yard line. Good field position for Callie McManus from their own 40-yard line. Nubin for about 4. Let's head to Chicago and check in with Rick Pizzo. Look at the Big Ten West. Northwestern, a great win earlier today here on the Big Ten Network over Maryland. Nubin again. And Nubin fights his way for a first down. Just across midfield, picked up 7. Fake to Nubin. Callie McManus in trouble and sacked. For the Spartans so far today, a loss of 9. Callie McManus over the middle, and that is caught. Brevin Span Ford, maybe his biggest catch of the year. The Michigan State 15-yard line. Callie McManus towards the end zone, incomplete. Was looking for Span Ford once again. Nubin up the middle. Nubin the right side, not much there. And that was 3rd down. And the crowd not liking that play call. And Kesic, known as the Serbian Hammer.
I bet it was chilly.
No, it was fine. Tank tops, shorts, sandals. Fair catch for Tyrell Henry.
Coach Jay Johnson and Coach Barnett mentioned the receivers have to help him out and be in the right position.
3 yards of offense this quarter. Can Hauser add to that? Into coverage, and it's pulled down. Great catch made by Montori Foster Jr. 35 yards of offense total before that 34-yard play. Hauser again thinking big, and this time incomplete. Looking for Foster again. Coverage from Tyler Nubin. Here's Nate Carter, and nothing opened up. And 3rd down.
See 2 linebackers lined up in the A-gap, but they may or may not come. They're going to try to confuse Hauser here.
Hauser, time, and this one nowhere near his teammate, Jerron Glover.
The pass is legal. Number 15 was in the area.
Was in the area, but never had a chance. Ryan Eckley will look to pin Minnesota back. Quentin Redding awaits at his own 10. And that's caught by Michigan State.
There's only one safety. You see him there about the 20-yard line. Michigan State's playing aggressive defense, trying to load the box and stop the run.
Callie McManus to the sideline. That's caught right at the sticks by Jackson. And it's a first down. Another boot for Callie McManus, and he'll throw, and stretching in, a great catch made by Daniel Jackson. Minnesota 2 timeouts left. Nubin Took a hit and still spins forward to the 43-yard line. Nubin again. Left side, first down to midfield. 76 yards rushing now for Nubin. Manis throws, that's caught. Crooms, first down, inside the 25. Minutes to go until halftime. Michigan State will get the ball first to begin the second half. Nubin left side for about 3. Does Minnesota call a timeout here? Jake, they're in no hurry right now.
The crowd wants some urgency. Look, I mean, as good as your defense has been, you got to tell your team, guys, if we can score a touchdown, and there goes the timeout. But
timeout, Minnesota, their second of the
too much time came
got
out
to
of
be
the
a
clock.
touchdown.
Yeah.
Daniel Jackson, one-on-one coverage there to the top of the formation.
Simeon Barrow, by the way, good news. He's back in defensively for Michigan State. Off play action, Manis rolling, and that is pushed out of bounds by Jordan Hall. Loss of 5. Manis, pressure coming. He hangs in there, throws, that's caught. Touchdown, Daniel Jackson, and the Gophers take the lead. Manis now with 7 touchdown passes this season. 6 of those have gone to Jackson. Kesic, extra point is good. A 95-yard drive. No return from Henry. Michigan State will get the ball first to begin the second half. Carter with a run. First down across the 35. 2 timeouts remaining.
Usually when you get a first down, you say, all right, well, we'll run at least one more play, but no, a little bit confusing there to have that nice run to start the drive and
3,
send it into halftime.
2-1, and that'll do it. Kesic boots it away. On the return. And stacked up near the 20-yard line, Alante Brown. No touchdowns, Brooke, over their last 7 quarters played. Hauser will keep it and has the corner, and he's out of bounds near the 25-yard lines. Nate Carter for about 2. 4th in the Big Ten in rushing yards per game. Carter, no chance. Tried the middle and had nowhere to go. No gain. Jalen Logan Redding, the redshirt junior. 3 and out. Eckley the punt, and Redding hauls it in for the Spartans. He was under the weather in the first half, did not play a single snap. Our play action, Manis took a hit there, and that's incomplete. Looking for Jackson, broken up by Chance Rucker.
A lot happened pre-snap there.
That was number 9, Zion Young, that provided the hit. Jordan Nubin, no gain. Michigan State brings pressure, and that's incomplete. 3 and out for Minnesota. Jaden Mangum, too, number 1. He brought that hit, and it looked like he said, hey, I'm looking at that right shoulder, and he brought that pressure on Manis. A return here for Henry, takes a good bounce, favoring the Gophers, still going, and a big punt from Mark Crawford. 29-year-old Aussie. Hauser from his own 12, the pocket, and that's caught by Foster for a gain of 6.
Certainly been a frustrating day for Hauser, as you mentioned, inconsistent. He's definitely been some miscommunication between him and his receivers. Run game hasn't been consistent.
Few drops, too.
Few drops. Alan Barnett, he said, we just flawless execution's the name of the game. That's all 11 guys.
Carter. He's been the quarterback so far. Haven't seen 11 yet today. Hauser has all day, floats this one downfield, incomplete. Intended for Mosley. Trayvon Jones in coverage. There is a flag.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 2, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It is Jones. 2 penalties for Michigan State, now 3 on Minnesota. Penalties have really hurt Michigan State all year long. Nice catch that time made across the 40-yard line. Nate Carter, his best run of the day. First down and more for Carter. Inside the Minnesota 45-yard line.
Take a look at number 9, Devin Williams, right there at the bottom of your screen. You see him get a little bit inside. His gap's outside. That's got to be his gap, and it's a good job by Carter, kind of pressing the hole before bouncing it.
Credit number 72, the right guard, Kevin Wigginton, with a good block there that opened up 18 for Carter. And this will be a hold now in Michigan State, so this will cost.
Holding, offense, number 59, 10-yard penalty, first down.
It's on the center, Nick Samak. So penalties, this has been an ongoing issue for Michigan State. Design run here from Hauser. And he'll dive for about 1. Second and long. Hauser just chucks that one to the ground.
Pass is legal. Number 82 is in the area. It's third down.
Minnesota's almost in a prevent defense.
They bring 3. Hauser throws. That's caught by Parachek, and he is wrapped up at the ankles. Still about 7 yards shy of the line to gain. To make it a 1-point game. Kick is on the way, leaking left, and it is no good. Here's Nubin for a few.
Jordan Nubin, the ball carrier for the Gophers.
Nubin still fighting and is wrapped up and around the 38-yard line, so it'll be third down and long upcoming for Minnesota. Kelly Manis on the slant. Jackson goes down, and that is a catch and a first down. A gain of 10.
I'm shocked that Scotty Hazelton, the defensive coordinator for Michigan State, is still leaving Daniel Jackson in one-on-one coverage. And that it looked like he got his hands underneath it from that angle. But whether it's been Dylan Tatum or the freshman Chance Rucker, what's really killed you, the guy that's winning this game right now is number 9, Daniel Jackson. You do have to consider at some point having safety help or double teaming him.
120 yards receiving and counting for Jackson. Nubin, right side. Nubin, first down. Inside the Spartan 40-yard line, a gain of 13 for the redshirt sophomore from St. Charles, Illinois.
I think Jordan Nubin has had quite the game. You know, Sean Tyler, he was the first back off the bench. He was going to lead the day, had that fumble early, and that meant number 30 has had to step up. It's looked pretty seamless. The offense has operated him. He's ran hard. He's been good in pass pro. I think he's campaigning for some more reps down the stretch of this season.
Approaching his first 100-yard game. Let's tackle that time. Gain of 3 to the 36, brought down by Barrow. Seeing Minnesota run on first down, really not all that surprising. Only Nebraska has done it more often. Then the Golden Gophers, 67% run on first down. That's been the game plan for the Gophers all year. Callie McManus, we saw the shoulder early. He's been limping around here a little bit on this drive. He's under center here. Boots. Throws. And that's intercepted by Mangum. And then a late hit at the very end on Callie McManus at around the 48-yard line. And that's why the Golden Gopher teammates
I'm shocked
come
that's not a
right
flag.
to his aid. Third turnover, Callie McManus is picked off by Mangum, and then nowhere near where the ball was. He took a hit very, very late.
Look, this is one you throw into the first row.
Barnes with the ball. Inside their own 20. Downfield, Mosley got twisted around but made the adjustment and caught it. First down, Michigan State. And he's slow to get up.
That is not an easy catch by Mosley. But they didn't call it, so moving on.
Jared Mangum. Tail back to Hauser's right. And the brother of the guy that just picked off Callie McManus, Jared Mangum.
Look at the safeties here from Minnesota. Look how low they are. As I say that, they back up a little bit, but they are playing low, and initially they're coming in for run support.
Hauser. It's caught by Tyrell Henry. Hauser, plenty of time, and incomplete, too high for Joyner. We'll boot this one away. High snap. Actually, nice adjustment. Fair catch from Redding near the 12-yard line.
Wild, Wild West. It lives up to its name.
Nubin for about 4. Speaking of the Big Ten title game, the West, it's been rare for the same team to go back in consecutive years. Wisconsin has been there by far the most out of the West, 6 trips. Minnesota has never been to the Big Ten championship game. Nebraska once, Purdue last year for the first time, and Iowa as well a few times. Nubin now at 100 yards rushing today. Trying to add to that and does. Nubin first down, powers his way to the 25. And Nubin took advantage. 25 carries for a guy that had 6 carries all year. Nubin upended at the 33 by Jaden Mangum. A gain of 8.
Behind every great running back is an offensive line that knows how to create those holes. So Michigan State gets caught in a stunt. They're stunting the lineman back to the left side of the offensive line. Minnesota picks it up, and what happens is when you stunt and they pick it up, that's what you see. A big gaping hole for Jordan Nubin to run up through.
Injured Spartan right now. That's the leading tackler on this team, safety Malik Spencer. Now Malik Spencer was able to lead the field on his own on second down and 2. Nubin and forward progress will give him the first down to the 36. A gain of 3. And likely final play of this third quarter. See, Minnesota does not have to snap it again.
So that quarter change, you know, a small thing here, but that plays in Michigan State's hands because a couple third down conversions and a chance for Minnesota to seize the game. They're kind of wearing on Michigan State's defense here on this drive. So a new quarter will give them a chance to regroup on the sideline.
And that indeed will do it. Four-point Minnesota lead as we start the 4th. Nubin with that right shoulder, legs working hard. Good run out to the 43-yard line. Speaking of those trophies, you saw the axe and Floyd. First time that both have been in Minneapolis for the first time since 1993. And despite the fact that PJ Fleck on his coach's show with Mike Grimm and Justin Guard said this week, hey, when we won the axe for the first time, it was in my bed. That did not happen. He was joking. But Floyd, for a night, was at the head coach's house last Saturday.
Right now, Michigan State has +1. They got 7 defenders in the box for 6 blockers.
2nd and 3. Callie McManus, he kept it. Callie McManus, first down near the Michigan State 40-yard line. Doesn't run very often. That's why everybody was biting that he gave that ball to Nubin, a gain of 18.
Well, this is how you gain numbers. So we highlighted 7 defenders in the box to start. Well, to plus numbers, what you do is you leave a couple unblocked and read them. And both guys there were in the same gap. One has the quarterback responsibility. Neither did. Callie McManus with a nice read and a nice run.
Second longest run by Callie McManus all year. That one for 18 yards. 7th play of the drive, and now 6 of them have gone to Nubin. Picks up 2.
To start the quarter, Minnesota had 70 plays to Michigan State's 37. To start the quarter, Minnesota had 27 minutes time of possession to Michigan State's 18. Why do I say that? Because when you have that big of a discrepancy, this is where that starts to pay dividends. You've just leaned on Michigan State. Their offense hasn't been able to get much going. All of a sudden, that defensive front is worn out. It makes running the ball a little bit easier.
Nubin, left side edge, and more. Nubin inside the Michigan State 20-yard line. And the redshirt sophomore today. Nubin got a great block. Nubin, end zone, touchdown Gophers. First career touchdown for Jordan Nubin.
Was injured all offseason. Played the most snaps last week against Iowa, and though he hasn't made his work, made his name understood here in the passing game, there he is showing up big in the run blocking. He's able to spring that run for Nubin, and then Nubin goes to find his brother on the sideline.
Spartans 174, Nubin 166. Henry no return to the 25. Sam Levitt is now in a quarterback for Michigan State, the freshman from Oregon. His first action today in 11 for about 6 or 7. Possible targeting then, they could look at it, but that was never a play. Great hit there on the pass to Carter by Wally, but he's down. It'll be 3rd down. Loss of 2 on the play. Michigan State 1 of 10 on 3rd down today. Some movement, free play. I think Logan Redding jumped. Levitt escapes, makes a cut, spins his way, and he'll have the first down across the 35-yard line. It looked like 97 jump, free play, and Levitt kept it.
In the neutral zone at the snap, defense number 97. The penalties declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Now the final drive presented by Auto Owners Insurance recaps the entire day around the Big Ten. That's all coming up tonight at 11 Eastern right here on the Big Ten Network. Quarterback change here, Levitt's in. Surprised by this, Jake?
I mean, at this point, no. And I think you got nothing to lose. You got to evaluate. You got to try to win a game.
Throws a good ball. We see it here. Underthrown, but the adjustment made by Glover. Gain of 29. Another run. Levitt spins away. Spinning his way for about 9. Was the Gatorade Oregon Player of the Year. 4-star recruit. Throws low, and that is a catch. First down by Glover to the 22.
You can't measure it, but I mean, as you mentioned, spark of energy as that looks like a confirmed catch back to his guy Glover. But I mean, this dude is playing hungry already. Converted the 3rd down earlier with his legs. Another nice run there after a big completion down the field. Michigan State's offense was kind of sleepy, lackadaisical throughout the game today, and injects Sam Levitt. He's the spark.
Glover missed the Michigan game with illness. Having a good-looking drive here, as is Levitt. Kept his feet. Levitt inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal, Michigan State. On 1st and goal, Levitt throws, end zone, and that is caught for a touchdown by Tyrell Henry. Yeah, let's go, says Sam Levitt. The freshman to the sophomore, and Michigan State with some life here in the 4th quarter.
That whole drive was Michigan State attacking downhill, and there they finished it with a little play-action flash that forced Minnesota to step up. When they did that, there was a vacated area in the middle of the field that Levitt was able to take advantage of to his guy Henry.
Foster in motion. 2-point try. Levitt throws at the goal line, and that's caught, but short of the end zone. Foster caught it as Minnesota makes a stop on that 2-point try, keeping the deficit at 5. Still seeking his first win. In that roll, onside kick, they go for it, and flag thrown, and a huge play made by Minnesota. Grabbing that ball, taking the contact.
Personal foul, targeting, kicking team number 0. 15-yard penalty, 1st down. The play is under review.
Salante Brown right now flagged for targeting. It was all Jordan Nubin on the last drive. And they stick with number 30. And stretched out wide by Michigan State that time. You see the numbers too on Cal McManus today. The bulk of that came in the 1st half. It's been run heavy here in the 2nd half. Nubin again up the middle to the 41. On 3rd down, back to throw. Cal McManus out of time, he'll take off, he'll run, 1st down, and slides down inside the 35-yard line. There is a flag back at the 44-yard line near the Minnesota sideline. For now, a gain of 7.
Holding, defense number 88. The 10-yard penalty is added to the end of the play. It's 1st down.
Nubin cuts back inside the 20. And once again, milking just about every second here. Nubin this time goes backwards. Here's Thompson after a loss of 1. Nubin got 3 to the 5. 1st and goal to the 2. On 1st and goal, Nubin up the middle, end zone, touchdown, Minnesota.
What are you made of? And as you mentioned, they've just gone back to him time and time again. A career day when his team needed it most.
So Michigan State took a chance, got within 5. 2nd drive now for Sam Levitt. Time of possession, Minnesota, that's been a strength all year. They've owned that today. Levitt pressured, incomplete for Carter. Levitt, flush, pressure, down he goes, and that ball came out. John Joyner, 17, trying to rip that free. Levitt was pressured from behind. Minnesota believes that it's going to be Golden Gopher football.
That looked like number 17, John Joyner, who that was his 2nd straight pressure here to start the drive.
Moving on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. 1st down.
Let's see if Nubin will go over 200 yards rushing as he runs into Cal Halliday to the 17.
But Nubin runs, the way he runs in terms of how hard he runs downhill, it reminds me of him.
And he goes over 200 yards with that carry. Jordan Nubin. I have to think carry number 40 is coming up here on 3rd and 3. 980, Jake. Sure you know what that means?
Motion brev down and handed to Jordan Nubin.
Why not just say that? Short of the first down on the 40th carry here tonight from Nubin.
Michigan State is
Michigan
its
State
final timeout.
will call its
30
last
seconds.
timeout. His dad, born in Serbia, Milwaukee native, and the reigning Big Ten Special Teams Player of the Week, and on their way, most likely to win number 5 and win number 3 in Big Ten play. Timeouts left, down 15. Foster, first down. Out across the 35 to the 37 as the Spartans will go fast here.
Just keep watching Sam Levitt, how he operates. That's a nice completion to start the drive in rhythm.
Levitt got away from Logan Redding. Danny Strigo, though, bringing some pressure and incomplete. Sparks did not have the top tight end here today. Malik Carr did not make the trip. Carter. Levitt in trouble. Carter caught it. Kept his feet in bounds and a first down shoved out. On the crossing route, Henry.
Levitt's pass complete to Tyrell Henry.
Gain of about 8.
He does look comfortable, right? He does look poised. He's seeing the game well.
Under 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, meaning that the clock will stop at any first down. On 2nd and 2, downfield and at the 20-yard line. That's incomplete, intended for Jalen Franklin. Tyler had a great game last week against Iowa. 4 tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and a pass broken up. Levitt, first down and more as Levitt is hit and dropped to the 21-yard line. Levitt throws, and that's intercepted inside the 5-yard line. Kelly McManus in victory formation will take a knee. And that will do it. PJ Fleck and the Minnesota Golden Gophers for the first time since 2009